Yes, you guys, how you all doing today? I'm EFC. This is Blue Lines TV, and today I'm here to bring you guys another News Daily video. Now, for today's reports, we have three stories to break down and discuss. For the first one, we're going to talk about Antonio Rudiger and a potential imminent loan move to Spurs. You know, make it out what you will, you guys. And for the other two stories, we're going to speak about the future of Marcos Alonso and Danny Drinkwater making a potentially surprising loan move to Valencia as well. So we have a ton to break down, discuss, and deep dive into. Before I continue on though, if you like today's video, if you like the channel, smash that like button, show your support, help me get over 3,000 likes for today's video. And without wasting no more time, we're moving with the first story for today, and it's time to speak about these Rudiger reports. Now, this story was broken today by the Evening Standard, and in the reports, it does suggest that we are willing to do business with Spurs to let Rudiger leave on loan. So it's quite interesting, it's quite surprising. The story actually goes that Spurs are going to have to pay a loan fee, obviously, and before Rudiger is allowed to leave on loan, he has to agree to signing a 1-year extension first, because at this point in time, Rudiger currently has 18 months left on his current deal. So it's no surprise that this club wants to keep his value as high as possible. You know, Rudiger has, he's got clout in this game. He has interest from clubs. If he was to go on loan to Spurs, if this gets finalized, if he does well for them, really well, I'd imagine that Rudiger doesn't want to continue to play for Tottenham. I'd imagine that he'd have so much interest from clubs in the Premier League and across Europe too. And if that is the case, then we could be making some money, considering the fact that if Rudiger can make it into the Germany national team squad for the Euros next summer, then I feel like we can be in a place where we could make some decent money off his sale. Now, the main reason for why Tottenham are now turning towards Rudiger is due to the fact that their current negotiations with Inter Milan for Skriniar, obviously they've come to a standstill. They aren't going to progress anymore. Inter Milan want too much money. They want about 45 million to let Skriniar leave, and that's the type of money that Spurs don't necessarily have, considering the fact that they want to fill other positions in their squads and for their teams. Unfortunately, the reality for Rudiger is that Frank Lampard has made him surplus the requirements. I think that's quite fair, judging on the basis that, considering the other young defenders we have, they have a higher ceiling for me. They have the potential to become better players, and right now, I actually think they perform on a better level compared to what we've seen from Rudiger over these past 12 months. So, on that basis, I guess it's only fair and logical that you are going to move Rudiger on, considering the fact that we just signed Thiago Silva. And for me, the moment that Thiago Silva was signed, this effectively sealed Rudiger's fate, because Thiago Silva became that experienced figure in the back line that Frank Lampard wants. And of course, when you're signing Thiago Silva, you don't get better experience than that. So if anything, it's going to be interesting to see how Spurs fans do react to Rudiger potentially signing for them. We know the previous controversy surrounding them as well. So let's see obviously what happens there. But to be honest, I am hoping he has a decent season. I do think that, we do struggle to sell players, and ideally we need to be in that situation where we can command fees like we used to do when we sold players like Diego Costas, Moratas, Oscars, Schürrles, De Bruynes, etc, etc. We can't be a club that's forever just loaning out our assets and our players. So you guys, at that point, we now move on to the second story today, and it's in regards to another possible loan departure. It's Marcos Alonso, and Inter Milan and Juventus are sniffing to sign him. Now, earlier this afternoon, Fabrizio Romano did report that at this point in time, it seems like Dalbert from Inter Milan, the Brazilian left back, is about to sign for Rennes in France on loan for the season. Now, what does this news mean? This effectively means that Inter Milan have a spot available for a left-back replacement, and based on prior reports that have come out from journalists like Damasio, it does seem like Inter Milan have been monitoring the current situation with Marcos Alonso and Frank Lampard. Now, there has been some recent controversy between Lampard and Marcos Alonso. For me, I think Lampard was completely in the right to really have a go at Marcos Alonso. And to break this down for you guys, basically when Alonso was subbed off, it seemed like he wanted to watch the rest of the game on the team bus instead of actually going back to the squad bench to watch the game from there. Of course, when Lampard obviously got back to him, he was fuming, he weren't happy, and rightfully so, because he's being disrespectful. As Lampard rightfully said, Alonso, you're making it about yourself, and it's not about that. It's about the team, it's about being there for them, and this is disrespect at the highest level. And I do agree with that. I do think that, on top of that, Lampard was still critiquing him for his performances too. And I think once you get to that point, there really is no going back. Honestly, there's no going back from there. The moment that happened, it was obvious that Alonso would be leaving. And to be honest, this is pure speculation on my part. So please do not take me word for word or serious. This is honestly just pure speculation. I'm making it very, very clear. But, I was thinking about the really disappointing reactions that we've seen from Marcos Alonso and Emerson ever since Ben Chilwell has signed. Now, I was thinking, why have we seen no resurgence? Why are we seeing no fight? Why is it more of the same and even worse? Of course, I understand pre-season is affecting. I get that to a point, but at the same time, I do feel like maybe when both players have known for a while that they were surplus requirements for literally the past, 12-18 months, and for Marcos Alonso it's probably been like this for the past 24 30 months. Let's not forget that when we originally saw Marcos Alonso in that title winning season under Conte, the very next window in the summer, we were in the market making a very ambitious attempt to sign Alexandro. So in a sense, that really tells you straight away that Alonso had a current level, but he wasn't really going to get past. And it's no surprise then that we've constantly been in the market to help find better players to replace them with. So in that sense, I can imagine that, okay, I've known for a while the manager doesn't rate me. They don't want us. Why do I care to put any effort in? At this point in time, the club are making it hard for me to leave because they're pricing me out from a move away. I can understand the frustration from that part if you're in that situation where the club don't want me, so why are they making it hard for me to go? At this point in time, it seems this Inter Milan interest could be that, that divine intervention we've been waiting for. Alonso can hopefully find some resurgence back in himself and his career, working under Antonio Conte again in a system that suits him and gets the very best out of him. I think if Alonso was to go, this could be the final time we see him. I do think that he is a cult figure, 100%, and I think that comes down to some of the absolutely brilliant, amazing moments that Alonso has produced for us over the past few seasons ever since he signed. So it's not like his stay has been a complete failure, but of course he has his limitations. He's at a current ceiling, and with our new signing in Ben Chilwell, we know that he's going to be going to a much higher level. He's already at a better level than Marcos Alonso, and he's 4 or 5 years younger. So in that sense, I feel like it is time for him to move on. We can respect his stay here. Thank you, Marcos Alonso, but I gotta say, man, adios. So you guys, on that point, we now end things with a third and final story for today, and that's in regards to reports coming out from Spain suggesting that Valencia are considering to make a low move for Danny Drinkwater. Now yes, you guys heard me right, Danny Drinkwater, the long forgotten figure in midfield. It seems like Valencia are seeing him as the type of cheap alternative to bolster numbers in their midfield. Now, at this point in time, Valencia have really struggled due to COVID, due to missing out on UCL football as well. They've been forced in a situation where they've made every single one of their players available on the market other than Jose Gaya, their captain and their left back. This has meant that they've sold some of their best players and some of their most effective ones. For example, Coquelin and Pereiro, making like an 11 million combined move to Villarreal. Absolutely crazy. Guys like Ferran Torres moving to Man City for, way less than Valencia would originally like, but, they have bills to pay. And they're in a situation where they have to sell for less. So it's no surprise why they're considering a move for Danny Drinkwater. Their current manager is Javi Gracia, the guy who was the former manager at Watford. So it's no surprise in that sense that his prior understanding of the Premier League could turn him towards a player like Danny Drinkwater. Now personally, on a human level, I hope that a move like this does happen for Danny. I think that this would be a great opportunity to, get some resurgence back in his career. I'm going to sympathise with him, but at the same time, this is like a massive warning when you're a player that wants to make that step up to a bigger club. You can be forced in a situation where you won't get any game time, you're not going to play, and I think that was definitely the case for Danny. What really surprised me when Conte seemed to be really adamant that we had to spend, 40 million to sign him, I got the impression that we might be seeing him and Kante in the same midfield together. It's no surprise that these two players were very influential at helping Leicester City win the Premier League, so, it's not like Danny doesn't have any abilities. It was a bit disappointing then that Conte would only use Drinkwater as like a box-to-box mid. And the moment I was seeing that, that effectively told me that, wow, his career is really going to crash and burn if he stays here. And since then, I get the vibe it's like the combination of a lack of confidence, obviously that lack of purpose, you know, maybe feeling a bit bad, a bit depressed, and I think that's why we've seen this current situation. So I think a potential move to a new league, Spain, where it's nicer weather, that, you know, a different style of football too, that could bring back the hunger, that can bring back the old Danny Drinkwater, because let's not forget, this guy was a very good player before we signed him, and I think that since he signed for us, you know, the curse has struck and, you know, things haven't looked too great. So there you guys, they were the 3 stories for today. There's going to be another news video out today in regards to Declan Rice and our Champions League group stage draw, so you guys make sure you stay tuned in today. I'm Nini FC, this is Blue Lions TV. I'll catch you guys later with some more videos.